All right, good evening. Welcome to the Town of Auburn Board of Health meeting. Today is June 23rd, and it is 6:10 p.m. And I'd like to open the meeting. First item agenda is review the agenda, add or remove any items. Steve, anything you see that you need to add? Darlene, anything to add?
No.
No? Okay. Next item is the bill schedule. We have a few small items on here. We have the Mastermans. Okay. And ProPac. What is this one? Oh, that's that one. Okay.
It's just
That one's that
two
one.
bills and
It's just there's so many copies.
That goes with
Okay.
it.
I got
I wanted
confused.
to keep it together.
And ProPac. Okay. Take a quick look at the bill schedule. And while Steve is looking at that, we also have 3 sets of minutes.
Oh, so I do apologize. For the minutes on the agenda, we only have 2 sets. We actually got another set done.
Okay.
So we can add,
Let's add it in.
I think it's 224, is it?
Yep.
Yeah,
224,
224.
210, and 113.
Yep.
A motion to approve the schedule.
I second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. So, all right, bill schedule's approved. We also have 3 sets of minutes, and I believe, okay, the 113 we'll put to the side.
Table.
I have to sign that
Table
one.
the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have to put
Minutes
that one
of
aside
113.
because Steve was not here, so we
Oh,
cannot.
okay, sure.
So the 113 2014 minutes will have to be tabled until the next meeting. The others, we were all
All right,
here
so the
for.
January minutes.
The January minutes will have to be on hold.
So we'll add those minutes to this. We'll add those minutes to for July.
See, so it's still good. The thing said you had 2, and we had 2. Okay.
Paula made a lot of headway this week on catching us up on 3 sets of minutes, so she's going to continue
Excellent.
on. We'll have, our hope is to have all the minutes up to date by next meeting.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting, Board of Health meeting minutes for meetings 2/10/2014 and 2/24/2014.
Second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. The motion has been made and accepted and voted upon to accept both sets of minutes from 2/10/2014 and 2/24. Is that the correct date?
2/24.
2/24/2014. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. At this time, under programs, goals, and objectives, we have a presentation from the Worcester Regional Tobacco Coalition.
Rural Collaborative. It's a lot of words, so
WRTCC. How's
maybe
that?
approach the bench.
Yes. Have a
Thank
seat,
you.
please.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can pass.
Pass them down there.
For you. Thank you. Tell you what, we'll put a set aside for Marion. Paula, would you like a set? There you are. Okay.
So, thank you for having us. So I'm Karen Clark. Hi, Ray.
How you doing?
And I'm the Chief of Community Health at the Worcester Department of Public Health. And this is Megan Danubala, who works with me at the department. She's going to be taking on some of the tobacco work, so she's going to be in tow with me at a bunch of Board of Health meetings. So thanks for having us both. So I haven't been here for a while, so I thought what I might do is just kind of give the 100,000 foot view of what we do and then kind of get down into a little bit of the nitty gritty, anticipating that we'll probably come back to another meeting when we have more time, but I just wanted to kind of go over kind of where we are right now. So one of the responsibilities that I have in Worcester is I oversee the Worcester Regional Tobacco Control Collaborative, which is definitely a mouthful. And Auburn is a part of that. It's been that way probably for 10 years anyway. I've been overseeing the program since 2009. And essentially, we get funding from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health to provide a number of things to 19 communities. So Worcester's the lead board, and then we work with all these other boards that are contiguous to Worcester. And as you know, we also are a public health district, but we also have all these other towns that are part of the tobacco district, if you will. So primarily for many years and continuing, we do the enforcement. So we're the ones that have the kids that go in to do the stings. Hopefully people are not selling, but unfortunately they do. And we also do a lot of retailer education. We do a lot of presentations for parents and adults in schools on these other crazy tobacco products. They are called OTP, other tobacco products. Obviously, nicotine delivery products are really big now with the e-cigarettes and the hookah pens and all these other things that are out there. We also do a lot of technical assistance around policy development, and I know that in particular that Darlene said that the board had some questions, or there was a conversation about this 21 regulation. So I wanted to just talk about that for a minute, and then I have some information that I just wanted to present to you to just look at and marinate in until the next time I come back, because there's quite a bit. So basically the deal on the 21 reg is there are a couple of physicians from the Needham area who have been contacting all of the boards of health across the state, including all of the ones in our tobacco collaborative, about coming out and doing a presentation on this proposed regulation. It's not a model regulation that is provided by the State Department of Public Health. In fact, what I have for you tonight, which I'll pass out shortly, is actually their model regs. So some of it is included in your current regulation, some of it is not, either A, because you didn't choose to do that at the time, or there's actually more cutting edge ones that have come out, including policy around banning blunt wraps and flavored products and things that kids are really attracted to. So the position of Mass DPH is that they're not either for or against the tobacco 21 tobacco age, so raising the age limit to 21. They have concerns that the Needham data that was used is potentially flawed, and they're not necessarily opposed to raising the age to 21, but everything that they do, that they give to us to present to boards of health, is all evidence-based. It's all public health rationale to support it. It's interesting because New York City actually took the Needham 21 regulation and they actually passed it. So there's not really enough data yet to say whether or not it does drive down sales rates, smoking rates, etc. Does that mean people are going to the next town over? I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is, you know, we are definitely all for trying to discourage youth to get their hands on the products, hence why we have, while all of you, have a local youth access reg, it would make sense to raise it only, even from the perspective of, that youth's brains are still developing, and we know that smoking and, doing drugs or alcohol impedes that process. So obviously we want to delay that as much as possible, but we just don't have enough information yet to show if what exactly it's accomplishing in terms of driving down sales rates or smoking rates. Now, there is a lot of people who are interested in this. There are a number of communities in Massachusetts that have gone ahead and done it anyway. The only caveat as far as our role is the MTCP, so the Massachusetts Tobacco Control Program, that is where the money funnels through for our program through the state. Their money comes from the feds, and there's very strict language about that we can only use youth ages 16 and 17 to do compliance checks. So if you chose to go to 21, we're still only going to send a 16-year-old in, and I don't really know how effective that's going to be. Although I can tell you, with the kids that they look like today, I did not look like that until 2 years ago. I don't know if it's the milk. I don't know what's going on. So we just like people to know that in advance, that I don't know how effective our compliance checks are going to be, because you're getting could be a very youthful, and we're not trying to trick anyone. That's not what we do. But I don't know if a 16-year-old who is really going to look like a 20-year-old, for example. So that's the deal on the 21. I can certainly let you know. I mean, as I get information from the state, I try to send out email blasts to Darlene and everybody on the chain, just so you know what I know, so that you're informed. But anyway, what I did do for tonight, and you passed them out, is I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about what some of the model policy languages that we're talking to all the boards of health about. Actually, Wednesday there's a meeting for the collaborative. We're going to be going over this as well. But so I was looking at your reg, and it's really a combination of two regs. It's really a youth access reg and an environmental tobacco smoke regulation, which is great that you were able to get it into one document. What I have here, these are samples of, they're split. That's why it looks that way, because they're kind of two different ones, but again, some people have them in one document. So if I could just call your attention to this ETS reg. So this is the most up-to-date model regulation stuff that's out there around environmental tobacco smoke. There's some things in here like, and so what we asked the state to do was to just develop a simple checklist on the front page, so that it was really easy to just sort of go through. And we're not going to go through this tonight, but I just want you to see what some of the other communities in the collaborative and across the state are considering around the ETS reg. So it's everything from banning hookah bars, which are huge in Worcester, as are cigar bars because of the college population. But also things like Sutton a couple of weeks ago, they decided to ban smoking in all municipal parks, playgrounds, athletic fields, and the beach. Now, these are really hard to enforce because there's only me, Megan isn't even officially on board, and we have a part-time tobacco inspector for 19 towns. We do respond to smoke-free workplace law complaints. Obviously, if by the time someone calls us and say someone's smoking, it would be challenging. I think it's more a public awareness thing, that it's just not okay that they're trying to, so we would work with you on getting signs, which is really the most expensive part. Mass Clearinghouse has some metal signs, but if I have money in my budget, like for Sutton, we're buying them some signs. It's also the end of the year, and I have a little money I need to get rid of, so say that out loud. So you're talking like $800 for metal signs, so they have to be able to resist weather outside. So those kinds of things are a little harder to enforce, but again, it sends a message, and the norm is going in that direction. So that's really what this one is, and some of the stuff you have and some of the stuff you don't. The more meat and potatoes, my favorite document, which I spend a lot of time with, is the sample regs for, they don't call it youth access, but that's what we're going to call it. So again, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can look at. Some of these are really, really new, like banning flavored tobacco products. So this is really getting at the real issue, which is big tobacco marketing to kids. And it's all the bubble gum and the grape and the cheap little 69-cent cigars. Kids are smoking those now more than cigarettes because they're cheap and you can just buy it as a single. Some of these things, some communities are passing, so if you did consider these, you wouldn't be the first one, and I could get information on how did that go, was there opposition, you know, all that stuff. So there are some things in here that are very benign, like including a sign near the register that just says, you know, do you want help quitting smoking, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. I mean, there's a million other signs, why not have one for cessation? There's also things in here like capping the number of permits that you give out, to banning the sale of blunt wraps, which is clearly drug paraphernalia. You know, ones that you guys already have, like vending machines, I mean, that one's a no-brainer. But some of the other ones, still a lot of communities are banning the sale of tobacco products in pharmacies. There's never been any opposition, and I believe there's 83 communities in the state that have done that so far. And there's other things like no coupons, you know, no sales within 500 feet of a school. So it's as low-hanging fruit or as high-hanging fruit as you want, depending on your feeling. The next time I come back, I can bring, you know, sale information. I didn't bring any of that tonight because I just want to have more of a high-level conversation. But, you know, what kinds of things have they been selling the kids in Auburn? How many sales have there been? And really kind of going through these a little bit more and providing you more with like what's the public health rationale. I mean, some of them are pricing strategies, some of them are real flat out public health policy, public health rationale. So I just kind of wanted to present this to you. I can tell you that a lot of the towns in the collaborative are going in this direction. You are the first board that I've met with about this most up-to-date one, which has got the banning of the flavored products and all of that. Do you have any questions or thoughts?
No, it's gonna be a little bit of reading to do and go
Yeah.
through, 'cause, I mean, we have our regs too, which
Yep.
what was it, 2 years ago we did
It was
those?
2011?
2011, so 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know we
it
worked on
was.
them. I think you would come in while we were working on
Yes.
them at one point. We did a working meeting on
So
them.
have we done them since I was previously on the board?
Yeah,
March
yeah,
of
we did in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys did a lot of really great things, and you were very, Auburn and Webster were very cutting edge about including like the nicotine delivery product stuff with
Because
the
that's when they were
e-cigarettes.
coming out with the little tabs that go in your tongue and everything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
it's even crazier
Yeah.
now. So that's the problem, is that, as you know, it takes a long time to go through policy. I think the checklist and the way this is set up, it makes it a little quicker and less painful. In fact, you basically, when you're comfortable, if you want to move on any of these, or none, I mean, I'm just the mouthpiece, I don't try to sway you, I just give you the information, but say if you wanted some of these things, you just let us know, we take the checklist, we put the draft together for you, you don't have to do anything, and then we just show it to you. If you like it, you want to strike something, you have your, you know, the public hearing, whatever. I think what's been happening is that there's so much happening with tobacco and these crazy products that it's so fast that by the time a board does something, there's like, you know, 20 more things.
Exactly.
So it does take some time, but again, I think we have like a well-oiled machine at this point that you just basically feel comfortable with what these things are. I can have people from the state come in. I can provide you with, there's a sheet they developed, a public health rationale for every single one of these with data points that support it. So I can send you those in advance. It's pretty easy. It's the same thing, unless you want to listen to me for 2 hours. That's totally fine. Or not. So it kind of really gets more into like, well, what does this really mean? Because you think it sounds like you know what it would mean, but what does it really mean? So
Yep.
we can kind of get into that. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew this was the latest and, you know, take a look. You know, let Darlene know when you want me and Megan to come back and we can start diving into this a little bit more. And then you can just let us know, you know, what your pleasure is on this and we can do a draft, and there's no rush on any of this. I do have to put my work plan together for FY15, so if you think that you might be interested in some of this, I can put you right into it.
Okay.
I usually look to work with like 3 or 4 towns every year because it just takes a long time. So I think 3 or 4 is, and Worcester's updating theirs, which is going to be a lot of work
Yeah.
through a city council ordinance, so it's going to be interesting.
Karen, do you
Yes.
have, of the 19 towns that are in the WRTCC, do you have like a little checklist of where everybody's at? So Sutton,
I
you
do.
said, has something
Yep.
new and great. You know, maybe if we had,
Like who did what,
Yeah.
or where
Yeah.
they are in the process.
yeah, that
Sure.
might be helpful,
Yeah.
just to see,
Yeah.
you could see the surrounding towns.
Yeah, I got a call on that about a month ago, or 2 weeks ago, saying, "Hey Ray, when you go do the inspections at the golf courses, can you make sure they're not smoking on the patios?"
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it might be helpful to see, you know, what close
Yeah.
by
No,
towns
that's-
are, because
that's
you're
great.
giving us like the overview to statewide.
Yep.
So that's, you know, they can make their decision on,
Yeah.
you know, what makes sense here and if it fits with the other towns.
Yep.
So I can tell you off the top of my head, this year we did Millbury, West Boylston, Sutton, Leicester, Westboro, and Northborough, I think went. Not all exactly the same, and this was of course before this one came.
Yeah.
With some of these other things, and you know, the state understands that if I just work with the board for a year, they're like, really, get out, like we don't care what the policy is, you're not coming back for another year. And I get it, I mean, because you have a lot of work to do, and I'm like, hi, it's me again, every time I'm back. So I mean, I understand it, and as soon as they, you know, say if you guys did everything on here, next year there'll be 2 more things,
Two more things that come out,
because they're so clever, the tobacco industry, and then, you know, on the state and local level, you got to think about, well, how do you counteract that? How do you counteract that? You know, and we have this much money, and they have this
Yeah.
much money to sort of think about. what
It's
they're
like when we
gonna
wrote the last regs, it was like, how can we write this so that if something else comes up,
Yep.
we're covered, like the nicotine delivery system, not e-cigarettes, not
Right.
the little pads or anything like that. We wrote it up as
Anything
delivery
proprietary,
system
but-
because we figured something else is going to come up, and if we don't write it in there, someone's going to say, oh, that's not in the law.
Well, I mean,
Not the reg.
even like I was, you know, explaining this to Megan, and even with the definitions, you know, usually you describe like a blunt wrap as like a brown tobacco paper. Well, they'll just come out with green
Yeah,
and say, well,
exactly.
let's say it doesn't fit the definition, so you have to be
Exactly.
so careful.
Tobacco or nicotine-containing products.
Right.
Boom.
And we did nicotine delivery systems because some of them are just these they're little things you stick on your tongue and they dissolve in your tongue.
Right.
So,
You guys are very clever, let me tell
Dispensing
you.
of nicotine without a physician's prescription. It's prohibited in the town of Auburn.
So, yeah, I mean, this was great. That's kind of what we wanted to hear. We wanted to hear an overview, where you were at, what's going on, and I was happy you were coming tonight because I'm the inspector in Sutton. I do all Cheryl's inspections for food service.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize
No,
that.
I do that part-time for her twice a year. I do it in
Oh.
June and in December.
Yeah.
So when that came up, I got a call from John Silverberg.
Yeah.
And then I got a call from Cheryl. Both of them called me and said, hey, Ray, while you're out there,
Yeah.
look for this.
Well, and that's how we have to get it done, because we're
So-
trying to leverage resources.
So what I'm going to
and
do is I'll get a copy of their
Yes.
regs and what's going on, so I know when I walk into a place what's.
I think July 1
Yeah.
is the date, and
Yeah, so it may
yeah.
not affect me till December because I
No,
should
but
have
if you
everything
have
done.
questions about
Yeah.
anything, let me know.
No,
and,
it's definitely it's great.
So this is, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I met with Shrewsbury recently. They're very interested. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'll do is, and I don't know if I can get it done before Wednesday when we have our collaborative meeting, but I will get to you, or I could email it to you guys, and I'll list out all the towns and I'll let you know where they are.
That's great.
And I think I can get you something from the state that just kind of shows you statewide, like how, you know, how many did pharmacy ban, how many did blunt wrap, just so you
Yeah.
have like a bigger picture.
I mean,
That's
you
great.
don't have to rush, I'm just thinking even
No,
maybe
but I
before
need to
the
do
next
that anyway
meeting, you
because
know.
boards ask me a lot, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's the," and then I'm like, "What did they do in that town that's different?"
Well,
than
Yeah,
you
so
know,
we'll
you
be-
know them off the top of your head,
Yes.
but for us
At 6
to
o'clock
see
at
it-
night, usually I question them.
you got them pretty quick.
Yeah. But once you put
Yeah.
together a spreadsheet, you can just add people to it
Yes.
as it goes, and then you'll have it print
Yeah.
out. Because you have it on top of your head, Megan sitting there going, "That's a town." No.
I know. Well, I'm so lucky because, well, I've always done the policy stuff since 2009. And then we had Alyssa Johnson as the tobacco inspector. She's actually going to nursing school, which I'm very happy for her. So she's done, I think she's done at the end of August.
Okay.
So Megan's going to be doing that work as well as probably also a part-time person. So I've never had anybody to do the policy stuff with me. So I thought, come over on this
To
side.
the dark
But
side.
it's really, you know, it's a. I mean, tobacco is a huge program,
Yeah,
and there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm very excited to be able to have Megan learn all of this as well. So.
Yeah. At my full-time job, we just got a tobacco control specialist who came in, and he's out of Brookline.
Yeah.
Now if I can remember his name, West Chen.
West Chen.
West Chen.
Yes.
He works for us
He's awesome.
5 hours, 6 hours a week out of Framingham, because that's where my
Yes.
full-time is.
Yep.
And he comes out and he does our tobacco control for us.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
really,
you've got
really
a great
good.
guy
I'm
there.
actually training him to do restaurants and stuff like
Oh,
that.
good.
So he may end up coming to work with us more hours a week, but we don't want him just to do tobacco or teach him everything else.
Yeah.
So everything I know about tobacco right now, I'm learning a lot from Wes. He comes in, I say, "Hey, Wes, come out with me to this store. Let's see
Yeah.
what we can do here." And he works
Yeah.
with me. He's really good.
That's great.
He's really good. So
Tell Steve I said hi.
I will.
See him.
I will. I'll see him Wednesday.
So thank you. If you have any other thoughts, questions, or epiphanies, please let us know, and I'll get that more information for you. But let us know when you want us to come back, when you've had some
Sounds
time
great.
to look at this, and then we'll kind of dive into it a little bit
And
more.
I don't think we have a meeting before July, right? So if we'll try and discuss a little bit tonight and see if we want to bring you back so you can put us on your agenda for the year. It may not be a full year, but we'll have a quick discussion tonight and say, maybe September or something like that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Because
Yeah.
I don't want to say yes, we want you next year, and then us not do anything, and then you kind of have that space.
No,
so.
but I can just put you guys are exploring it or something like that.
And I think that's-
because I have until, I mean, the new fiscal year hasn't even started, so
Yeah.
we've got a whole year to talk. I'll be back.
Are you on the calendar year for June 30th? Is that your-
We're on the same fiscal year you guys are on,
Oh, you
so
are?
July
Okay.
1 to, so this would be for July
Yeah.
1 till June
Okay.
30th of next year.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, so, whatever you guys want to do,
All right.
let me know.
Thank you very much for coming
Thank
in. We
you very
appreciate your
much.
time.
Good to see everybody.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Megan.
Nice
Take it
meeting
easy.
you too.
And I'll connect with Alyssa for the
Yes.
checks.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
You can just copy me on that, that would be perfect.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Karen.
Thanks.
Good
Have a
night.
great night.
Right. Stay cool.
I'm gonna try. I love this is like the land of misfit chairs. Every Board of Health has the same bunch of chairs, I swear to God.
We just move them around.
That's right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Any discussion on what we heard or anything you want to talk about before we go into director's issues?
So the last time the regs were updated was 2011.
2011, we rewrote the regs.
That's 3 years ago. I mean, I can definitely see the need to revisit things with new products
The new
coming
products,
on the
yeah.
market, and we're not gonna, if the guys that sit and do this for a living can't figure out a way to pencil down,
Yeah,
Right.
broad brush
exactly.
and pinch on everything.
I
But
mean, we had a decent reg we wrote 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It came out well. Karen, like we passed it into them, let them read it,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Wow, we didn't even think of that. Wow, we didn't think of that. Oh, that's great." So Andy did a really good job, and
Yeah.
all of us on the board really put in some effort on that one. But it was great, and like she said, we wrote it as nicotine delivery
Right.
systems.
Right.
So that way, it covered pipes, it covered hookahs, it covered everything.
Mhm.
And at that point, like the little tabs that you put in their mouth. So we still can cover some of these, but there is some
Right.
new stuff that's coming out that may not be
Yeah.
in our reg,
Yeah.
and I think that's what I'm nervous about is stuff sliding under the wire.
Mhm.
So is this something we want to look into in the next year? And put her on our agenda or something coming up in a couple months or so? or-
Well, what I'd like to do is, the regs are available online.
You actually have in your packet.
She put it in her packet
The,
tonight.
the Auburn
Right here.
regs.
Yeah, oh, yes.
So you
Okay.
have a copy in your packet of
Okay.
the Auburn regulation, you can take a look at it. I mean, relatively, that regulation is probably the most up-to-date of
Yeah.
all the regulations that we have for the Board of
Yeah.
Health. You know, just to be devil's advocate, I think Andy, you know, definitely spent a lot of time on it with the board to get it to where it is. Now, obviously, she's saying that they're coming out with all sorts of ways, you know, with the flavored tobacco and then you know, the individual, like cigarettes or cigarellos and stuff
Yep.
like that. You can put into the reg, you know, minimum pricing, so they'd have to sell 4 at a time, which might discourage kids from, or when I say kids, you know, people that are of age, not just buying one for 69 cents. If you gotta spend $5 or 5 and change, maybe you don't buy it. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that we can add to the reg. I just wanted at least to bring to your attention that there's a lot of movement with, you know, stuff going on with policy, but there's also the Tobacco 21,
Right.
you know,
Well-
kind of movement as well. And kind of the reason that I wanted to bring that to your attention too was because we, as Karen stated, we were contacted by, you know,
Yes, the
a,
doctors.
Interested group
yeah, a
in
couple
regards to
doctors,
this.
and they were pretty persistent about, you know, well, where are you at, where are you at, where are you at? I'm like, we need time to discuss it before we tell you where we're
Right,
at.
Exactly.
So at least if the board, if you're happy with this regulation for now and you want to put it on the table for another year, I mean, 3 years is a pretty new reg,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's really up to you. There's a lot of information, and I feel like as long as I give you the information, you can read it over, you can say, you can compare it to what we have existing
and
and
see where the
say.
holes
And
are.
see what the holes
Exactly.
are.
And that's
You know.
what I'd like to do, and,
Okay.
you know, would I be able to
Right.
do that in 2 weeks?
No,
or by
probably
the end
not.
of July?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe we
before
look
we
at
let
it in
Karen and the team
August,
know,
or,
right.
yeah.
I mean,
One of the things, you know, kind of one of my goals is to also, this is also one of the good times to bring this to you is, I think I mentioned last time, this is the month that we renew our tobacco permits. And so, right now, we've sent out all our tobacco renewals. We're getting back all of the payments. Paula will be prepping all of the permits within the next week to send out. But it's also a good time to get education out, making
Right.
sure that we have all the proper signage, making sure that all of the tobacco owners, the establishment owners know, okay, oh, if I'm gonna check IDs, here's some educational information on checking IDs. Because it's not a surprise. I tell all the tobacco establishments, we do compliance checks. You know, we are going to send youth in to try to purchase tobacco. So that heightens their awareness to make sure they're checking IDs. You know what I mean? Because our ultimate goal is not to sting somebody, it's to prevent tobacco from getting to the hands of kids. So if the tobacco owners, the establishment owners are doing what they're supposed to be doing, then we stay in compliance, you know? So that's just, I thought it was a good time to do it.
Yep.
Give you the information, and then we can see where we're at, you know?
Sounds good.
If you want to put it on the table till next, you know, next June, we can do that too.
Yeah.
But at least if you look at it, you can see what works for you.
If we get that spreadsheet from her with the different
Yeah,
towns and
that's
what
what I
they're
thought might
doing,
be helpful.
I think that'll help too. And you know, just when you do talk to Karen, even though it's like she's not gonna be ready with everything until we discussed it, and we would like to look into it. It's just right now, let's
Yeah.
slow roll it out. I think until we have time to check our regs, see where our holes are, and go from there. Because like you said, if there's only 1 or 2 things we want, they can like you said, there's not much we have to do. They would take it, add what we had to. We could nix what we didn't like and go from there. So.
But we'd still have to go through the public
We'd have to go through
process.
public, well,
Yeah.
yes, the
Yeah.
public process,
And-
but our time last year when we did the when that year we did the public process, I don't think anybody came in.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think anybody came in for that. If you remember,
For what?
when we did tobacco, we rewrote the tobacco
Tobacco,
regs
right.
and we did the thing. I don't remember too many people coming in for
The
that.
only one person came in was e-smokers.
That's right, they were the only ones that came
They
in.
were the only ones.
Yeah, so, and everybody was kind of like, okay, and that's when we redid the regs and we redid the fines.
Okay.
And so we didn't have a lot of people, so I have no problem if we have to do a hearing, but like Steve said, let's take some time and go over
See where the
everything.
holes are.
Yep.
And how many holes, and
And, yep, if we see a lot of holes, because there's a lot of new products,
we need to start.
we need to start
Yeah.
looking
But
into
if
that.
there's just a couple of leaks,
Okay.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
we can
All right, we'll go right into number 2, director's issues, correspondence, and concerns.
So I just wanted to, in your packet, you have a couple of the letters that were sent out following the meeting last. And then we also have, I wanted to let you know, we have the Independence Day celebration. That's going to be on July 3rd. That's going to be Thursday, July 3rd, with a rain date of Sunday. The following Sunday, I think, is the 6th. Would that be the 6th?
Yeah, that's the
Pretty
6th.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So the rain date is Sunday. We have been meeting regularly, all the town departments, to just kind of make sure we have all the details on what's happening. Board of Health's role actually has a pretty active role in it. So we have several temporary food vendors that we are, Eileen has been in contact with all of the food vendors. She's trying to work out the details for menus and making sure we have all the proper paperwork for that. So Eileen's been covering that
Is this
piece.
an all-day event, or is it start at
It's
7?
actually 6 p.m.
6 p.m.?
Yeah, so it starts at 6. They'll be doing a short procession with some dignitary remarks, and then they'll also have it's going to be a nice live band. Like I said, they'll have the food vendors. We have many food vendors. We have craft vendors. We're also going to have kind of a small little carnival rides, kiddie rides, games for the kids, face painting. We also have a 4-H educational
good.
petting zoo that we are in the process. I'm still trying to work out all the paperwork for that, so we're working on that right now. But it's going to be a pretty big event. Last year, as you might recall, was the first year that they had this event at the Pappas complex, and they estimated about 4,000 people. So we're expecting all of that.
up at Pappas again?
Up at Pappas,
Okay.
yeah. So there's all sorts of information that's going to be provided online within the next week. They're doing maps that are going to be online, parking. They have a lot of parking already figured out for, they'll have the maps as well. They'll have shuttle buses from the Auburn Mall up to the park. So it's going to be a pretty big event. I just wanted to let you know that that's coming up, and we're doing covering for the food. We'll have portable potties that we'll be licensing, and then we'll also be licensing the animal portion. So that's pretty busy going on. And then the last update that I wanted to give you is I'm so pleased to tell you the compost bins that we got the grant from DEP, they have been flying out.
Good.
So we have been selling compost bins almost like daily.
Oh, that's great.
So we have, I think we've sold through at least half of them.
Nice.
So we're going to be looking to possibly do another order of those. I'm meeting with the Solid Waste Advisory Committee this week, and I'll be updating them as well. But it seems to be going really well. They seem to be really well received. We did a news article in the Auburn Daily and I believe it was the Auburn News as well, Telegram Towns. So that went in, and we got a lot of foot traffic from that.
Good.
So the again, the bins are $55 for the large and $10 for the kitchen scrap buckets. So those are available at the Board of Health, and it also comes, we were able to get some educational information, so each one gets a packet of information on how to, balance out the greens and the browns, and adding water and, rotating it. So that's pretty much the what's happening in the past couple of weeks.
Excellent.
We have them right here at Town Hall?
Yes, yeah, right here in the office.
You can see one down the hall when they
Excellent.
leave. There's one sitting on the top of the cabinet. It's
Yeah,
still
we
there.
set, we set one
Yeah.
up so that people could, like,
Okay.
visually.
Yeah, I was playing with it
See?
last time I was here, moving around, checking it out.
So quarter in, thanks for the gumball. No? Okay.
But you know, it's nice because people come in and they're like, "Wow, I didn't realize it was, you know, that big," and
Yeah.
and it's nice. All the pieces fit really well together, and
And when I looked at it, I was like, it's not overly big where it's gonna be obtrusive in the
Yeah.
yard or anything like that. So it's very nice.
so it's
Yeah.
going really well. So good news.
All right. Anything else for us today?
No, I don't think so. Any questions for me?
No. Next meetings, we have them scheduled for the 14th at 6 o'clock, and then, which is, 14th at 6 o'clock, and then the 28th was, that was one that was up in the air. We had said the 14th was going to be the full meeting.
Yeah. Do you want to keep two scheduled? Because it's July, I don't know what.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
busy
actually,
vacation
I had
schedule.
said that I wasn't here on the 28th. I'm
I
golfing.
will also be gone on the 28th.
All right, so let's just set the 14th, and we'll figure out from there.
Okay.
Because I think the 14th we already scheduled one of the other meetings, so that one's okay. Yeah, I knew the 28th was the one I couldn't be here for.
Yep.
So, and that's actually, Marion wasn't available either because the last week of July she's on the Cape or something.
That's right.
So all three of us will be
Excellent.
absent, so that works.
Wonderful.
That works. Okay. If there's nothing else, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second the motion. How do you vote?
Hi.
Aye. Good night.